Well, I have always wanted to play the organ since I was fairly young, and I have to say I started the keyboard when I was age 5. I had an aunt that taught piano, and I studied with her for a number of years. And then in high school, I was inspired to go into music as a career by my high school choral teacher, who was he had first-rate choirs in the county, and I really enjoyed playing in the pit orchestra with him and listening to his choirs. I guess when I was about 15, I started just playing around with the organ at church. I had received permission from my organist at my church to have at it. And so when I started out, I was kind of on my own, and I developed a lot of bad habits. And when I went into undergrad school as a piano major, I started studying the organ with a very strict teacher named Richard Wagner, who just recently passed away in his 90s. And I studied with him, and he corrected all my bad habits so that when we had a new teacher come to the college, I was ready for him. And he was from Eastman and had studied with Gustav Leonhardt in Amsterdam. And he taught me a great deal about organ playing, and especially Baroque music. I really consider myself a specialist in the Baroque period. Um, so I had my first church job when I was about 17, and it was at a Methodist church, which is where I am now. So I've come full circle in my career. Um,
So I grew up in Floyd, Virginia, which is primarily known for its bluegrass music. But occasionally there are some classical musicians who come out of there, largely due to, yet again, a wonderful high school choral director, a woman named Sandra Smith. And she also was my first organ teacher. So I started piano at age 4. I had to keep up with my older brother. I was determined. And then when my piano teacher moved away when I was 12 or 13, I went a little while without some lessons. And then I remember my mom said, well, would you like to learn how to play the organ? And I said, what is that? And because I grew up at a little Baptist church, she was like, that's the thing on the opposite side up front where the preacher's wife plays with the sock foot. And I thought, but I'm always open to new experiences. And so when I took my first lesson with Sandra Smith, she was not a sock foot player. She was a really trained organist. I just immediately fell in love. I loved the challenge of playing with hands and feet and all the new sounds I got to orchestrate with, because even though I'd not grown up around symphonies and things like that, I just always heard them in my head. And so, here I had all these symphonic instruments at my touch that I could sort of pull out. There were no pipe organs though, so this was an electronic organ. And my church promptly hired me to be the organist. But, I'd been playing for church since I was a child. Probably Chris had the same experience. My church, as soon as you were studying piano, they had you play preludes, postludes, and then as soon as you were a little older, they put you on the piano playing hymns. So it was natural to just continue playing for church and start accompanying the choir and all of that. And I never intended to be a musician professionally. Music was just something that was a part of my life. It was just a natural part. I was at a governor's school program in William and Mary for math and science, in a computer science course, actually, when I got to play on my first pipe organ. And so they arranged practice time for me when everybody else was getting free time. I was expected to go over and practice on this marvelous Flintrop Baroque instrument. Just, I did not fuss about that at all. It was fantastic. And that's when I realized that I just could live in that sound for the rest of my life.
Well, I'm playing the Alleluias of Simon Preston. It's a piece I've always wanted to learn, and I learned it specifically for this program. I thought this is as good a time as any to learn this piece, and I wanted to feature in my portion of the program the trumpet on Shamad, which was donated not that long ago by David Grove in memory of his wife. And three of the pieces that I'm playing feature that trumpet on Shamad stop. And so I was pleased to put that on the program. And I decided I wanted to do an all English program, but I wanted to end with something more modern. And it's relatively modern. It's not one of the more recent pieces, but it's been around for a little while. And it's a favorite of many organists. Uh, they like to play that piece. So that's why I chose that one.
Chose?
So I chose this piece called Ascent by Joan Tower. I saw it on the list we were given, and I was intrigued because I'd never heard of it before. And so I looked up a little bit about the composer. And also I do like to feature composers who are women a lot, being a woman. Yeah. So and so I picked this piece, signed up for it, ordered it. I thought it was intriguing, the description of Joan Tower's compositional style. And I really like learning new music and exploring new composers' voices. So it was a journey for me on this one. It's a really cool piece. I really enjoyed it. So